How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. This is going to be a total shift, a total change of pace from what I'm used to talking about, and it is going to be around something though that means a great deal to me. It's around mental health. Now, I know that mental health in recent years has been growing and getting more interest, and it's becoming more socially acceptable to talk about and discuss. Although a lot of positive things have come of that, we still have a very long way to go, and I'm somewhat trying to make this my mission to at least feel like I'm doing what I can to increase awareness and also increase the acceptance of being okay to say, I have a mental illness or I have a mental health diagnosis, and I'm okay with that. And I want to start off by saying that this channel also too is more so for an outlet for others to possibly come to where they can say, you know what, I can relate with that, or I want to share my story, and I want it to be that common ground for people. I don't want anyone to come to this channel and watch this video and feel pressured into feeling like they have to disclose what they're going through, because that's not the goal. And I wanted to be able to speak to others about something that means so much to me, because I realized that when I was told that I had, anxiety and OCD, that it was so helpful for me to look towards others and see what they experience, to see how they're managing, to see, what they're doing, because I personally can relate to others a lot easier than I can, going to a textbook and reading about, anxiety or OCD. It's easier for me and more meaningful and impactful for me to actually talk to others or interact with others that are experiencing this as well too. Now, with that being said, although as I just disclosed, with me having anxiety and OCD, I don't want this to seem like, oh, I don't have those diagnoses, I'm going to close this out. This is just a general mental health talk and a general mental health space to discuss. And I feel like it is so important to have something like this available. And there are a lot of channels like this. There are a lot of websites, forums, blogs, social media accounts. To me, you can't have too many. This isn't something to where we should be looking at, well, this person's already got it covered. No, it really shouldn't be that way. There's going to be so much more awareness and increased awareness about something that matters, the more people that talk about it. It's an uncomfortable topic to talk about. I know that from my own personal experience, I'm pretty open about it. I tend to be an open book with things. Most of the time people know a lot about me. I don't walk around and physically open my mouth and say, hey, this is this, but I tend to, like on my social media, is be a little bit more open than others, I would say. And I don't know why I do that. I don't know if it's because I want to have others feel like they're not alone. That tends to be where my passion comes from, is I don't want other people to feel alone what they're going through. It is a very scary, very isolated feeling at times in life for anybody. Whether you have a mental illness or mental health diagnosis or not, life is hard. Like, life is super, super hard. It's challenging. And me today doesn't mean that I'm going to be the same version of myself tomorrow. There's going to be different factors. There's going to be different noises that are going on that I'm going to have to deal with, that I'm going to have to process, that I'm going to have to deal with in a different way. And I think it's so important that if we're given tools such as a person to talk to, or whether it be grounding techniques or just a journal to write in, whatever it may be, having those tools for anybody, I feel like is so important. And I think that that's what is also another takeaway point from this talk today, is I've seen a lot of this online and I agree with it. And it was, someone had posted, stop comparing your mental health to someone else's. And I think that that is so critical. I think it's essential to learn from other people that have maybe are experiencing or positively managing and tackling some of their mental health issues, but also too looking at the people that feel like they are in good mental health. What are they doing differently? I feel like it's good to take from those things, but to compare yourself, I think, is a very different and can be toxic thing to do. Because I know the first thing I did when I was told about my OCD is I was going online and message boards and forums, and I was like, okay, I do that, I do this, I do that. And granted, inherently I was comparing, but I had to make sure I drew the line somewhere to where I wasn't then saying, well, they were able to manage this in 3 months. Well, why is it taking me 6 months or a year? It's not about the timing it takes you to manage a lot of these things. It's about an overall quality of life, and it's about finding what works for you. And I've noticed that that's a growing culture that seems to be becoming more accepted. You know, it's not like you get a report card about how you're doing with your mental health. And that is the hardest thing about mental health, in my opinion, is people can look at you from the outside and see whatever they want to see. They can say, why is this person dealing with what they're dealing? Or why are they saying they're dealing with what they're dealing with when they have it all? Or, you know, they don't seem like they should have anything wrong. I mean, if I had that, I would be fine. Or if I had what they had in terms of the material goods or their job or whatever it may be. But that is such a dangerous comparison as well, too, because when people put that narrative out into the universe, it then makes that person that hears those comments or has been had that said about them, makes them feel like they can't open up, or it might make them feel like, yeah, I don't deserve to feel like this. You know, I don't have a right to really feel this way. And then they start to almost blame themselves even more. But mental health and, you know, mental health in general, it does not discriminate, and it does not matter, you know, who you are. What matters is your overall well-being and how you're doing. And I think that that's where we collectively, when we work with others and when we share our experiences, can make progress. Again, share experiences, not compare experiences. I feel like that's commonly, you know, it's easy to do. It's easy to compare yourself to someone else and to either feel better about yourself or feel worse about yourself. It can go both ways. But when you compare against yourself and give yourself a false sense of worth, it can be very, very dangerous. But I don't want to talk too much today about like in detail about things. This is just supposed to be more of an introductory, like this is what this channel is supposed to be about. And I don't know how much I'm going to post. I don't know how often I'm going to post. I don't know always what I'm going to talk about, but I really wanted to start and create, you know, a beginning to mental health discussions. And, you know, I've been told before that when we can work together on things, especially mental health, you can make the biggest progress. You can make the most strides because you're working towards something that you can't see, you can't physically touch. You're working at the wirings of who we are as individuals, and that is so important. And you don't want to change someone and who they are inherently, but you can always improve and help others with being there for them and supporting them. And that is what is also another challenging piece to mental health is, depending on your personality type, you may be someone that wants to help everyone and fix everything and fix yourself and fix everybody else at the same time. You know, it's not about fixing things, though. It's about truly, truly, truly finding what works for you and going forward with it. There is no perfect picture, drawing, painting, image of what mental health is. There's nobody in this world that you could take and say, this person has perfect mental health. There's no grade. There's no score for it. It's intangible, like I said. You can't touch it. You can see the effects of mental health, but people, including myself, you can become very creative and good at hiding how you feel, both good and bad. And you put walls up, and that's what this is supposed to be about, is taking and breaking those walls down. So I hope that others will maybe finally be able to discuss how they feel about certain things too. And maybe this is the space for that. But also too, those that are on the fence about being open with how they feel, or maybe some of the issues that they're struggling with because they feel like, this isn't the right time. I hope that this maybe will help chip away at some of those walls, because it took me a really long time. And again, don't compare. Don't compare how you feel today to how someone else that you know feels. Just try to focus on yourself and focus on what's going to be best for you. And I'm hoping that this can be a piece of what makes you, you know, maybe get better in terms of your mental health, or what maybe makes you feel more confident to talk about mental health. There's a lot of different takeaways from what this channel can mean to you. But I'll stop there. Again, I really do appreciate anyone that's stuck around and watched this about 10, 11-minute video. It's something that means so, so much to me, and I'm passionate about it because it's affected my life personally, and I feel like it's something that affects everybody. You know, mental health is important for every single person. But I don't want to get into too many details. Like I said, today, this is supposed to be more introductory, so I will hopefully be putting more posts out there about this. I appreciate each and every single one of you for stopping by, though. Stay safe. Try to stay healthy, you know, as best you can right now. I know times are difficult, but mentally and physically. Do what you can, and I'm hoping that this again will be a place for others to come and really share their experiences. I'll be back soon with more videos. Thank you so much and take care.